But let me ask you, how many times have you set a goal only to find yourself losing motivation, getting distracted, or giving up halfway? The truth is, achieving big goals doesn't come from one massive action. It comes from the small, consistent routines we build every single day. Clarity is the foundation of every meaningful journey in life, because without knowing where you are going, every step you take might be in the wrong direction. Many people wake up each day and immediately jump into action without asking themselves what they are really working for. And in the end, they feel exhausted, but not fulfilled. It is like running fast in the wrong direction. The faster you run, the further away you get from your destination. Success does not come from working hard alone. It comes from working hard with direction, and that direction begins with clarity. When you are clear about your goals, even the challenges along the way become meaningful because you know exactly why you are facing them and where they will lead you. Think about it. A ship without a compass is controlled by the waves and winds, but a ship with a clear destination will eventually reach the shore, even if the journey is difficult. Life works the same way. If you don't decide where you want to go, someone else will decide it for you, and that is how dreams are lost. Every morning, you need to remind yourself of what you are aiming for, not just in terms of big dreams, but also in small daily actions that bring you closer to them. Clarity means understanding not only what you want, but also why you want it. If your reasons are strong enough, your path becomes clearer and your discipline becomes easier. When you look at successful people, it is not always that they are the smartest or the richest. Often it is that they had a clear vision and refused to be distracted. Many people chase opportunities here and there without focus, thinking they can do everything at once. But in the end, they achieve nothing. Clarity teaches you to say no to distractions and yes to what truly matters. If your goal is to improve your health, then clarity helps you refuse unhealthy habits. If your goal is to build a business, clarity helps you stop wasting time on things that don't contribute to growth. Without clarity, your mind is scattered, and when the mind is scattered, your energy is wasted. Clarity also gives you confidence because it removes confusion. Confusion is one of the biggest enemies of success. When you are unsure about what you want, you hesitate, and hesitation steals time. A person with clarity makes decisions faster, takes action quicker, and recovers from failure more easily because they already know where they are heading. Even when they fall forward because their direction is set. It is not about avoiding mistakes. It is about knowing the bigger picture so that mistakes do not derail you. One simple way to practice clarity is to write your goals down every morning. Do not just think about them in your head, because thoughts are slippery. Once you put them on paper, they become commitments. Another way is to visualize where you want to be 5 or 10 years from now, and then ask yourself, what must I do today to move one step closer? Clarity is not only about the far future, but also about the present moment. It is about choosing the 1 or 2 things today that are truly important instead of drowning in endless tasks. When challenges come, as they always do, clarity is what keeps you strong. People without clarity quit easily because they don't know why they should fight. But if you are clear on your goal, you will endure the pain, you will survive the pressure, and you will keep going until you reach it. That is why clarity is not a luxury, it is a necessity. If you want to achieve your goals, start by asking yourself, what do I really want? Why do I want it? And what must I do every day to move closer? The answers to these questions will give you a map, and with a map in hand, every step becomes meaningful, and every effort becomes a part of your journey towards success. Success is never built overnight. And it is never built by one giant action. It is built by discipline, and discipline itself is built on small wins repeated every single day. Many people think that to achieve greatness, They need to do something extraordinary. But the truth is, extraordinary results come from ordinary habits done with consistency. The small actions that seem too simple are the ones that shape your character and strengthen your ability to handle bigger challenges. Discipline is not about punishing yourself. It is about training your mind and body to follow through with what matters, no matter how small the step may be. When you look at successful people, they all started with small, consistent victories. Waking up on time, showing up even when they did not feel like it, finishing small tasks with excellence. These are the seeds of success. A person who cannot manage the small details of their life will never be trusted with big responsibilities. If you cannot keep a promise to yourself to read for 10 minutes a day, how will you keep the promise of building a business or leading a team? The small wins build credibility with yourself, and that credibility becomes confidence. When you prove to yourself that you can achieve little goals, your belief in your ability to achieve big ones grows stronger. Discipline through small wins also teaches you patience. In a world where everyone wants quick success, patience becomes a rare strength. Each small win is like a brick. Alone, it does not look impressive, but together they build a strong foundation. People often quit because they don't see instant results, but those who understand the value of small wins keep going. They know that results are delayed, not denied. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, you are making a deposit in your future success account. One day, those deposits will add up to something remarkable. It is also important to understand that small wins create momentum. Momentum is powerful because once you start, it becomes easier to keep moving. The first step is always the hardest, but once you achieve a small victory, you feel encouraged to do more. For example, exercising for 10 minutes may not seem like much, but it builds momentum that can grow into a daily fitness routine. Writing 1 page a day may not seem like progress, but after a year, you have written a book. Small wins give you a sense of progress, and progress fuels motivation. Discipline is often misunderstood as something that only strong people can practice, but in reality, discipline is developed, not inherited. Nobody is born disciplined. They train themselves through small habits. Start by picking one thing you can control easily and master it. It might be making your bed in the morning, finishing a task before checking your phone, or setting aside a few minutes each night to plan the next day. These actions may feel insignificant, but they reshape the way you see yourself. You stop thinking, "I cannot do it," and start believing, "I always follow through." That shift in identity is the real power of discipline. When difficulties come, discipline keeps you going. Motivation may disappear when things get tough, but discipline reminds you of the commitment you made. It keeps you grounded and focused. Without small wins, discipline feels impossible, but with them, it becomes second nature. Each day you win a small battle against laziness or distraction. You prepare yourself for the bigger battles that life will throw at you. Eventually, the discipline you built from small wins will give you the strength to chase and achieve your greatest goals. Learning never ends, and those who believe they already know enough quickly fall behind. The world changes too fast to remain the same person year after year, and the only way to keep up is to commit to learning every single day. The most dangerous competitor you will ever face is not another person, but your own ignorance. Ignorance keeps people stuck, makes them repeat mistakes, and prevents them from seeing opportunities that are right in front of them. On the other hand, knowledge opens doors, gives you confidence, and allows you to make better decisions. Every great achiever is, at their core, a lifelong student. Learning daily does not mean you must spend hours buried in books or chase academic degrees. It means you develop the habit of feeding your mind with something valuable every day. Even 20 minutes of reading, listening to a podcast, or studying a skill adds up. Just as the body becomes strong from regular exercise, the mind becomes sharp from regular learning. knowledge compounds. One idea today may not seem like much, but in 5 years of consistent learning, you will think differently, speak differently, and act differently. That difference will separate you from the majority who stopped learning the moment they finished school. Those who achieve the most are not always the most talented, but they are curious. Curiosity makes you ask questions, seek answers, and look deeper instead of accepting everything at face value. If you are curious, you will always find ways to improve yourself, your work, and your relationships. The person who keeps learning adapts when circumstances change, while the person who stops learning feels lost when the world moves forward. In business, in career, and in life, the ability to adapt is more valuable than the ability to memorize what used to work. Daily learning also builds humility. It reminds you that no matter how much you know, there is always more to discover. Humble people learn from anyone and any situation, while arrogant people think they already have all the answers. A wise person will listen to a beginner, study from mistakes, and even learn from competitors. This humility keeps the door of growth open. When you think you know everything, you close that door and lock yourself in a small room of your own beliefs. When you admit you don't know enough, you step into a world of endless possibilities. One of the greatest advantages of making learning a daily habit is that it makes you resourceful. Problems become less frightening when you have the knowledge to analyze them. Opportunities become more visible because your eyes have been trained to see them. You make connections between ideas that others overlook, and these connections often lead to innovation. Many breakthroughs in business and science did not come from genius moments, but from people who spent years learning and connecting pieces of knowledge until something new was created. In practical terms, daily learning can be simple. Read a few pages of a book before bed. Listen to an inspiring talk during your commute. Take notes on what you learned and reflect on how you can apply it. Do not just consume information, practice it. Knowledge that is not applied is wasted potential. The real power of learning comes when you take something new and use it to improve your decisions, actions, and results. Those who refuse to learn will eventually be replaced by those who do. History shows that industries, skills, and even entire ways of life become outdated, but people who keep learning reinvent themselves and thrive. The discipline of daily learning ensures that no matter how much the world changes, you will never be left behind. The people around you shape your mindset, your energy, and even your destiny. No matter how strong you think you are, the environment you place yourself in will influence the way you think and act. If you spend time with people who constantly complain, criticize, and see only problems, you will soon find yourself thinking the same way. If you surround yourself with people who believe in growth, encourage action, and look for opportunities, you will be inspired to rise higher. Success is rarely an individual journey. It is built in an environment that either supports your vision or destroys it. When you look at the most successful people in the world, they often tell stories about the teams, mentors, and friends who believed in them when no one else did. That belief gave them courage to move forward. On the other hand, there are countless people with big dreams who never achieved them because they allowed negativity to poison their ambition. Words are powerful, and the words you hear daily slowly program your mind. If your environment feeds you doubt, fear, and limitation, you start believing those lies. But if your environment feeds you encouragement, challenge, and hope, you begin to think bigger and act bolder. Choosing the right environment is not always easy. Sometimes the people closest to you are the ones who doubt you the most. They may not mean harm, but their limited perspective can limit your vision. That is why you must be intentional about the company you keep. Seek out people who are already walking the path you want to take. Learn from them, watch how they think, and let their habits influence yours. Even if you cannot meet them directly, you can surround yourself with their ideas through books, speeches, and teachings. In this way, you can create a positive environment even when your immediate circle does not support you. A strong environment also holds you accountable. When you are alone, it is easy to make excuses and quit when things get hard. But when you are in the company of driven people, quitting becomes difficult because their energy pushes you to keep going. Their progress motivates you to move forward, and their discipline reminds you of your own potential. Accountability is one of the greatest gifts of a positive environment because it keeps you consistent even on the days when you lack motivation. It is also important to understand that your environment is not only about people, but also about habits and surroundings. The content you consume, the places you spend time in, and the routines you follow all shape your mindset. If you fill your mind with negativity from media, gossip, or endless distractions, you are building a toxic environment inside yourself. If you fill your mind with knowledge, inspiration, and clear goals, you are creating an environment where success can grow. You cannot plant seeds in bad soil and expect a harvest, and in the same way, you cannot plant dreams in a negative environment and expect them to flourish. One of the smartest decisions you can make is to let go of relationships, habits, and activities that drag you down. This does not mean you must hate those people or cut them off completely, but it means you protect your energy by limiting their influence. Every hour you spend with negativity is an hour stolen from your future. Protect your time, protect your energy, and invest them in places where growth is encouraged. In the end, your environment is like the air you breathe. You may not always notice it, but it affects your strength, your clarity, and your direction. If you want to achieve your goals, create an environment that makes success natural. Surround yourself with people and influences that lift you higher, and you will find yourself becoming stronger, more confident, and more focused than ever before. Motivation is a wonderful feeling, but it is not reliable. It comes and goes like the weather, sometimes shining bright and sometimes disappearing without warning. If you rely only on motivation to achieve your goals, you will make progress on some days and fall behind on others. What separates those who reach their dreams from those who quit is not bursts of motivation, but the power of consistency. Consistency is doing the right thing day after day, even when you are tired, even when you are bored, and even when you do not feel like it. The truth is that most people start strong, but cannot finish. They are excited in the beginning, full of energy, and full of promises. But when challenges come, when results take longer than expected, their motivation fades and they stop. Those who win are not the ones who never feel tired or discouraged. They are the ones who keep going despite those feelings. Consistency is not about how fast you run, it is about not stopping. Even small steps, if taken daily, will eventually cover a great distance. Think about farming. A farmer cannot plant seeds today and expect a harvest tomorrow. He must water them, protect them, and wait patiently, often for months. Some days the sun is too hot, some days it rains too much. But the farmer does not give up. He shows up every day because he knows the harvest will come if he stays consistent. Success in life works the same way. Your dreams are like seeds, and consistency is the water that helps them grow. Without consistency, even the best seeds will die. Consistency also builds habits, and habits create identity. When you repeat an action long enough, it becomes automatic. At first, waking up early feels difficult, but if you do it consistently, it becomes natural. At first, exercising feels painful, but with consistency, your body adapts and even craves it. Habits are powerful because they remove the need for constant motivation. Once something becomes a habit, you no longer ask yourself whether you feel like doing it. You just do it. That is how real change is created. Another hidden strength of consistency is trust. People respect and trust those who are consistent, whether in relationships, in business, or in leadership. If you are consistent, others know they can depend on you. This trust opens doors, creates opportunities, and builds a reputation that motivation alone can never achieve. On the other hand, if you are inconsistent, even your talent will not save you because people cannot rely on you. Consistency shows character, and character is what sustains success. Of course, consistency is not glamorous. It often feels boring and repetitive. That is why many people fail to maintain it. They are searching for excitement, but real achievement is not always exciting.